Heyo, and what's up, gang? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for joining us again today with some more breaking news coming at us from the Far East and our friends from New Japan Pro Wrestling. And today in pro wrestling history, as always, right here, right now, on the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. Do it!
Sledgehammer Wrestling Show.
In the middle of a very slow news week, I would like to welcome you all back to the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show right here on Sledgehammer TV. I am your host, as always, Nick Nightmare. With me, the tried and true Blue, the snowball microphone, and we got a pretty good couple of stories coming at us from New Japan Pro Wrestling this week. We're going to get into that, but first I want to start this week with today in pro wrestling history, because it's not really that impactful. There's not really that much that went on today, and when I started doing this, I didn't realize that, not every day is going to be a big day. You would think 365 days a year, with the countless number of shows and the history that goes into the world of pro wrestling, how deep it goes, that there would be impactful moments for each and every day, but that is not the case. So today, we have a nice little tidbit. 22 years ago today, the World Wrestling Federation presented a night to remember from the Boston Garden in Boston, Massachusetts. This would be the final show at the longtime home of the Boston Celtics, who would move to the Fleet Center in the fall of that year. Many WWF dignitaries were there, including Vince McMahon, obviously, Gorilla Monsoon, Arnold Skaaland, George the Animal Steel, Pat Patterson, Tony Garea, Chief Jay Strongbow, and Killer Kowalski, just to name a few. The card from that night is as follows. We had the Heavenly Bodies, Jimmy Del Rey, who nobody really remembers. I don't think he did much after the Heavenly Bodies, and Dr. Tom Pritchard, who defeated the Bushwhackers, everybody's favorite little guys from the land down under, cousins Butch and Luke. Triple H, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, defeated some guy named Phil Apollo. God knows who he was. Man Mountain Rock, that was an experiment that went absolutely nowhere, defeated Quang, also known as Savio Vega, in a weird-looking Power Ranger mask, pretending to be from the Far East for some reason. The British Bulldog and Bret Hart defeated Hakushi and Jerry the King Lawler by submission. That's an interesting pairing. Hakushi and the King. What a weird little match that was. Double J, Mr. Impact Wrestling, Jeff Jarrett defeated Razor Ramon in a ladder match to retain the WWF Intercontinental Championship. I'm going to go on record right now and say that it was probably nowhere near as good as anything he did with Shawn ever. The recently retired Deadman, The Undertaker, defeated Kama Mustafa, who we all know and love as the Godfather. Bam Bam Bigelow defeated Tatanka, the Native American, who went absolutely nowhere. He was real big when he came out, everybody was all into it, and it just kind of tanked real bad. Once he turned heel and joined the $1 Million Corporation, like his whole Native American pride thing, like who cares now? You're just like everybody else. There's nothing special. Stop dyeing your hair red and get the hell out of here, because nobody wants to see you and your fucking tomahawk nonsense. I wasn't a very big Tatanka guy, if you can't tell by that. And for the WWF Championship, with Gorilla Monsoon ringside as the guest ring announcer that night, Big Daddy Cool Diesel defeated Psycho Sid, one of my favorite guys, by the way. Both of them, actually, but Psycho Sid, I was a big Sid guy. To retain the World Wrestling Federation Championship. Now that the at-home stuff is out of the way, we are going to travel all the way to the other side of the country and check in on our friends at New Japan Pro Wrestling, who have made a couple of stories in the news, and I like both of these stories very much. First, we have news about the Bullet Club. Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks kick out Adam Cole. See you later, buddy. Out of the Bullet Club last night at War of the Worlds. And even more interesting is, as soon as that spot was made available, it was filled almost immediately by Marty Scurll, one of the best villains over on the where is he wrestling now? Shit, I apologize. I'm pretty sure he does some stuff in ROH. I know he's mostly based out of England and Europe and overseas. He does most of his stuff. In our first Wrestle Crate, which you could see on this channel, go back and check out the Wrestle Crate unboxings, we got a Marty Scurll autographed picture, of which I was unsure who he even was at the time, and I had to go look into it. I'm sorry if you don't like that and you want to, hit me on my credibility because I don't know who Marty Scurll is. Hey, listen, you can't watch everything, guys. But obviously, I'm going to get to know Marty Scurll, and if you are a fan of his, I'm about to be exposed to him through New Japan and many other outlets that are going to be made available to me in the near future as I try to cover more and more pro wrestling and get the news out all over the world, because a lot of my fan base is worldwide, and wrestling doesn't only happen in the WWE. It's where I do most of my stuff, of course, because it's the most popular organization in the world, but I love all wrestling, and if I can get my eyes on it, we are going to watch it, and this is case in point. And I want to go back now and watch this War of the World show just to see this moment. Following his loss on Friday to Hiroshi Tanahashi, Adam Cole was joined in the ring by the Young Bucks for a group hug. However, the lights would go out. Kenny Omega appeared on screen. Omega says Cole's year-long run with the group may have been historic, but like all fairy tales, it needed a hero and a villain. The lights then came on. Marty Scurll was in the ring, holding a Bullet Club umbrella. The Bucks proceeded to superkick Adam Cole and leave him knocked out. Scurll would then hit Cole with the umbrella afterwards and held him up for the Bucks to kiss his cheeks. The group gave a similar treatment to its former leader, AJ Styles, just before he left the company for the WWE. Could this effectively mean that Adam Cole is on his way to NXT or one of the main rosters of the WWE? I would rather see him in NXT first. I would rather everybody go to NXT first. Even AJ Styles has been on record saying that he wishes he would have been allowed to go to NXT first, just to really learn the ropes and see how things are done before being placed on the main stage in such a very important role on the show. But obviously, he's had no problem adapting, because when you are the best in the world, things come naturally to you, as they do to AJ Styles. What could this mean, though, for NXT? You look at the landscape of what's going on down there right now. We got Drew McIntyre. We got Bobby Roode as the heavyweight champion. We got Aleister Black coming up and making noise. And then you want to add in a guy like Adam Cole, Cassius Ohno coming back up. NXT's looking like it's going to be really, really good. The rumors of Kyle O'Reilly showing up. Kyle O'Reilly going to be at the House of Glory show that I'm going to in just a couple of weeks. Going to be a good show that night. Booker T is going to be there. Cody Rhodes is going to be there. We have a word with Cody Rhodes if I could, because I'm the only nightmare in the world of pro wrestling. Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare. You're going to meet Nick Nightmare, and we'll see. Maybe something will go down, maybe not. If it does, you will see it right here on this channel. So keep your eyes peeled for the new House of Glory stuff coming at the end of the month. finally, in our last little tidbit, also coming at us from New Japan Pro Wrestling, which is absolutely by far the bigger of the two stories. The International Wrestling Grand Prix, the IWGP, have announced that New Japan Pro Wrestling will make history when it comes to the U.S. in July, because for the first time ever, the IWGP United States Champion will be crowned. They do not have a United States Champion. They have not had one for a while. And now they are going to plant their footprint back in the States and debut a new and very beautiful championship belt, which you see in the thumbnail for this video. I forgot to put it in down below so that I could pull it up. That's my bad. It's a little production error. Things like that can happen. But when you exit this video, you can go back and take a look, or just search it yourself. It's right on the New Japan website. Go check it out. It's absolutely beautiful. It's what a championship belt should look like. It's big, it's bold, and it's going to be making its debut on American soil this July, prior to Ring of Honor's War of the Worlds pay-per-view, which happened this Friday night. NJPW United States Ambassador George Carroll brought the new belt out to the ring at the Hammerstein Ballroom. It was then announced that the first champion will be crowned via a round-robin tournament during the G1 Climax special event, or events rather, on July 1st and 2nd in Long Beach, California. Also being rumored to be going down at the G1 Climax is the Kenny Omega Okada rematch, and I am absolutely 110% amped up for this whole entire thing. First of all, I'm a big tournament guy. Secondly, this is the time of year, as a wrestling fan, that your inner wrestling psyche is expecting a tournament. Because if you grew up in the age where I grew up, you know, late June is King of the Ring time. Supposed to have King of the Ring. The winner of the King of the Ring becomes the number one contender for the World Heavyweight Championship, usually culminating in a match at SummerSlam, the second biggest pay-per-view of the year for the WWE. That is traditionally how it's done. The King of the Ring has been erased for years. And now, right around King of the Ring time, we are going to have a United States Championship being offered to us by New Japan right at the perfect time of year when everybody wants something like that. We've been experiencing all this stuff all year. The WWE finally is getting back into the swing of things with the tournaments. We had the Cruiserweight Classic. They're formulating the Women's Tournament, the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. So they have the capability of doing it. Vince McMahon supposedly does not like it, which is why we do not get the King of the Ring anymore. But with the G1 Climax this year, we're going to get a King of the Ring, and he's going to be crowned the IWGP United States Champion. It's absolutely fantastic. I can't wait to see the lineup of who they're going to have in this tournament. Jay Lethal and Adam Page, Adam the Hangman Page, also came out and said they would compete in this tournament. And I want to know who you guys, any of you guys that follow New Japan, get active in the comments below. Let me know who you think you would want to see win this tournament. A lot of people are going to go right off and go, oh, Kenny Omega. Okay. They're going to have their own thing going on. They're not going to be in this tournament. So, outside of the Cleaner and Okada, shoot, man, let me know who you think should win and be the first United States champion for New Japan. I'm psyched, man. I would love it to be Jay Lethal. I think he'd be an absolutely perfect representation for the United States. He's well known in Japan, so when they do their things over there, he could represent the belt for the country very well. I like that idea a lot. I don't know the current state of the roster. I don't know who's leaving. I don't know who's going to be coming in. Maybe Cody. Even though I just kind of called him out earlier over a name. We're just having fun. But Cody Rhodes, man. to be the first ever New Japan United States champion rather. I think that would be great too. I actually would rather them do that than even Jay Lethal. It would be fantastic. It would get such eyes on that product. If they're doing this in conjunction with Ring of Honor can take this and make it something that can help elevate them to a next step. Maybe even bring them above Impact Wrestling, because they're kind of neck and neck, if you're asking me. Story-wise, like, ROH is way better. But as far as just the general, consensus of both companies, how many people watch the company and how many fans they have, it's generally about the same. But this could be the thing to set Ring of Honor apart. I was automatically thinking when I first heard this news, before I knew of Ring of Honor's involvement in any way with this last pay-per-view, and if it's going to continue its involvement going forward, I thought this would be a great way for Billy Corgan to involve the NWA and get eyes on that. But I'm not even really sure what his involvement is. If he's just going to be a figurehead of the organization and allow all these little independent divisions to do what they have to do, or is he going to actually bring them all underneath one umbrella and formulate a company and a stance and a mission, and to go one-on-one with Vince and the rest of the guys, and to try to actually be viable competition and a secondary place to go in the world of wrestling, because we need it. TNA is not, Impact Wrestling is nowhere near the level it needs to be. Ring of Honor is looked at, not by me or by most of you guys, but is looked at on the outside as an independent label, so it's not going to have that national status to be a competitor. It's viewed as a feeder league, and it's been used as a feeder league for the major leagues for years. And this involvement with New Japan, and maybe something of this magnitude, if they remain in an active partnership with the company, could be the thing to set New Japan apart. To set Ring of Honor apart with New Japan in tow and a new championship, put on a recognizable, popular superstar to get it over right off the bat, have him hold it for a while, have him establish its prestige, have it gain notoriety with one champion going all over the world with the United States Championship, defending it wherever he needs to defend it, whether it be in What Culture Pro Wrestling in Europe, or Finn Balor's promotion in Ireland, or wherever he wants to defend it. Down in Australia, some independent promotion in Puerto Rico, Mexico. Do like what the Hardys were doing. Do like a world tour and defend the country, defend that championship, make that belt mean something, so that when you finally drop that belt to the next person, it's going to be an epic moment. We kind of went off on that, but that's what we do here. We talk wrestling, and this is what I think should happen. It definitely could happen. More to come as it develops. As we said, very, very slow news week, and the news that we did have, it's pretty good. Pretty good. And hopefully, like I said, it leads to big things for both New Japan and for Ring of Honor. We need more companies. Because when you look at the state of the WWE, the reason why it is the way it is because they don't care. You can give me that bullshit nonsense excuse and say, oh, well, everything's our competition. We're on Monday nights. Football's our competition. The NBA playoffs is our competition. No, they're not. By that token, I'm your competition. Because people can just as easily go and click one of my videos on Monday night during Raw because your show sucks and they want to see what people have to say about it. So am I direct competition? Am I taken seriously as competition for Monday Night Raw? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. That's an asinine statement. I mean, everybody knows that there's a plethora of things to watch. There are networks, there are streaming services, there are websites. They don't need to watch wrestling. We want to watch wrestling, so we go to watch it, and you give us garbage. and you want to give me the excuse that everything's competition. No, when you had a direct competition that was offering the exact same product, it forced their hand. It forced the WWE to be more creative, which would then make WCW be more creative. And every week, these guys were just trying to outdo one another, minute by minute, watching the ratings, what was going on. And ratings don't mean shit anymore. So would it definitely have had the same impact at WCW going on against WWF every Monday night in 2017? Absolutely it would have. Because, yeah, the ratings don't really mean anything. But social media is everything. And you can't tell me that WCW wouldn't be firing shit out on Twitter to try to keep eyes on WCW and not make them not watch WWF, whatever it would be at this time. We're talking about an alternate universe here. But that's exactly what would happen. Because social media is the new Nielsen ratings. You constantly want the people watching your show, so you keep them involved online, on Facebook Live, on Twitter. That's why the WWE are just monstrous with the hashtags, and they got it. They figured out social media marketing. They figured it out. We understand. They know what they're doing. Because that's the ratings. You can tell instantly. You have millions of people talking about you on Twitter at that minute. And then in the next segment, nobody's talking about whatever you're doing. Not that they take it into account, because they don't give a shit what we think. They don't change the show according to how we feel. They change it according to how McMahon feels and what he wants to see. They don't care about what we want to see. They prove that every single week on Monday Night Raw. And that's going to do it for this episode of Breaking News right here on Sledgehammer TV. This has been the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed everything you heard, make sure you hit that thumbs up for me. Don't forget to subscribe if you have not done so already. Also, the audio shows are available on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and Podbean. You feel free to support us on Patreon if you so desire to do so. Every little bit helps, and it only costs $1 single. If you want to help out, become a patron of the show, help Sledgehammer TV and the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show grow, and we thank you all so much. Very big growth week for us. I know a lot of people are having problems on YouTube, and I am one of them. I'm not getting what I should be getting as far as views and stuff like that, but very big week for us, and once again, very big, heartfelt thank you to everybody that subscribed this week. Make sure you keep your eyes on that inbox. We got plenty of stuff coming at you this week. Raw and SmackDown will be going on. I don't know if it'll be worth talking about. Maybe we'll talk about it. Maybe not. We're going to have our eyes on the newswire, and we are going to bring you the breaking news as it happens each and every time it does. Thank you so much for tuning in. I am Nick Nightmare. This is Blue the Snowball Microphone, and we are out of here. Thank you for watching.